Hi. Hello. What's up? It's me. Hi, I'm Violet. I do tarot, which you probably know already because you're probably watching this because you already know who I am because you're one of my friends. But today I'm going to do a tarot reading, another pick a card reading, which I haven't done in a long time. And today's reading is going to be positive, and it'll be about things you can look forward to, things that will be changing. So I have 4 piles. There's 4 options, and in each pile we're going to talk about like what subject, like what area of your life, or what exactly is changing, how it's changing, what type of obstacles there are, and the outcome, and we can see the timing of when this will happen. See like how long it takes to kind of get to your goal. So pile 1, it's a red sword. Pile 2 is yellow. Pile 3 is blue. And pile 4 is green. So pile 1, 2, 3, or 4 are all these little plastic swords. So pick, and then if you go to the description or the comments, I have a timestamp for each section, and I'll see you there. Hi, pile 1. So if you chose pile 1, you chose this little red sword. Could you imagine if I just like right in front of you right now on YouTube did that? Okay, so let's look. What subject of your life is changing? So journey. How is it changing? We have Knight of Pentacles and 9 of Cups. Some obstacles, the Page of Cups and the Emperor. The outcome, 4 of Swords. And the timing is the Anchor. So give me a moment to connect to the energy of these cards. Get the vibes of it. So the thing that's changing is journey. So there's a situation where you have been working really hard for another person. There's a situation where you maybe travel for work. You probably work for someone who is like in a really high up position, or like, I don't know, this is the scenario I'm seeing, is you work for someone who is like seemingly way above you. Even if like you work close to them, it feels like this is someone way above you who, like, you may work directly under someone who's in charge of a major company, or your, I don't know, your boss is like the big person. There aren't a lot of people in between you two, and you have been working a lot of ways to like impress them or like to move forward in this area of your life, and that's been a big focus of yours. You could be trying to travel more for work, or you need to, and COVID has affected this. But in some way, this has to do with like the person you work for, something about that relationship changing. The way it's changing is with the Knight of Pentacles and the 9 of Cups. So this means that this is something you've been working on for a very long time. The Knight of Cups is like the slowest motherfucker. He is so slow, but that you probably feel that way. Like this has been going on forever, and like, oh my God. So it means that, you know, being able to stay on your path and stay focused, even though it has been like really slow and daunting, is bringing you what you want. You're going to get satisfied in this situation. So if you want, what exactly is it that you want? Why don't I ask? No, I should use this deck. What exactly is it that you want out of this situation? Because you're going to get whatever you want. The Tower. So you want to disrupt this dynamic in some way. You want to sort of destroy, not necessarily destroy the foundation you've built, because you've obviously been working on that for a long time, but you want to rebuild in some way. You need to rebuild your business. You need to, it could be that you've learned a lot from this person and you're sort of like secretly sneaking out. That could be part of your journey, is like you're sort of getting out of the situation in some way. Maybe it's like just you'll be taking a long break, but your work is, there's like an effort that is being rewarded. There's something you've been working on for a long time. This could be also like a graduate degree or like a thesis, or something that's just like big, and you deal with like big important people and you sort of feel like not up to par with them, like you're not seen as important as they are. And so you really sort of want to dismantle this. I don't know, that maybe you don't want to work for this person anymore and you want to go out and do your own thing. Maybe you want to take a break. Maybe like you get to quit and then take a break because of like all of this like good boy points you've earned, like, and you can take like a nice vacation and then change some aspect about your job. But you're going to get wish fulfillment related to this. So the wish fulfillment, oh, and with the Empress, yeah. So you get to really destroy a stuffy foundation, a foundation where you just haven't had the space to really be yourself or express yourself, probably because you've been living like another person's dream. You feel like you've been living another person's dream. So with the Empress being part of this outcome is you get to have creative expression. This is something where you're moving into like a more feminine energy from a more masculine. So you're going to be moving out of the energy where you have to like go out and go after people. Maybe too, if you do something with sales, my cat, if you do something with sales and you have to like really go out and like network with people, something about that could be changing where you are in more like receptive position where clients are coming to you and you're able to build and nurture like this business that you want to have, and to take time to like relax, because there's a lot of good relaxation coming up. The obstacle still related to this is the Page of Cups and the Emperor. So the Emperor is that really dominant energy, and it reminds me a lot of the person driving the chariot, or it's not a chariot, it's a buggy. It's a buggy to me. That's what I would call it, a buggy. If you can see the guy's face, doesn't he look sort of like a dick, like a weasel? And then it sort of reminded me of the Emperor, because the Emperor isn't, it's not a bad card, it's just like, it's his way. Like he is so like planted in, he's so grounded, he is so like representative of like a very long lineage of things that have been going on, that he's really unbudgeable. Like to me, like he's someone who doesn't move, like he doesn't change. This is someone who has probably been in this business for a long time, and this is their legacy, and they're not going to change things. And with the Page of Cups, the challenge is still feeling like inferior to this person, still feeling inexperienced, maybe also feeling like you have to really brown nose and like kiss this person's ass. You have to really still cater to them, and I think that's going to continue until you get this rest, until you leave this situation and get to like start your new situation, whether it's because you get promoted in some way or you leave and start your own work. You're still going to be in a little bit of like a subordinate or like submissive position. And also you may worry about, I don't know why I want to say this, but you may be worrying about this person stealing your ideas, because you have the Empress, which is a very creative energy. She creates, she births. It's the number 3, and 3 is about creativity and expressing yourself and about art. And you have some 4s here, which are sort of like more controlling. But the Page of Cups is also like a really artisty card. It's a poet. It's someone really expressive. Like I guess it could be a writer. It's more like poetry though. and like art and baking, and like it's a lot more along with like her energy. So this is someone who like maybe start to guard your ideas from them. If you do want to move on in some way, even if you're getting promoted in some way, I feel like there's a message that you need to start like patting yourself. Like, I don't know, keep your cards close. Keep your ideas to yourself. Keep working for this person and like doing what you need to do, but you should keep some of those ideas, because this person could take that idea and they can maybe make you think it's not that valuable. They could exploit that idea. They could put you down and then use that idea later. I don't know why, but I get the energy of that. This person is someone who like wants to keep growing. They have a legacy and they'd be willing to take from you. So don't share too much. Keep those things to yourself. I wouldn't even tell like anyone. Just like work on manifesting them privately, and don't, you know, share your best ideas with this person that you're working for. The outcome is going to be the Four of Swords. So you are going to get to rest. There's a lot of like beach imagery too, like water. So you may be able to go to the beach. Nicki Minaj. You remember that vine? You get to rest in some way. You can go on vacation. You get to regroup. This could also be like 4 weeks of time. You may be able to take off like a whole month and just like, it seems like you'll be able to use that time to let things settle, to let your foundation settle, but there will be a break in time where you don't have to you don't have to work so hard. Come here. No one ever gets to see you, Iggy, because you are so stinky and mean. It's my cat, one of my cats. But yeah, that's the reward that's coming out of this, is a break. It could be a break from traveling if that has been like, if networking at a distance has been really exhausting to you. It could be a break in that way. It could be you getting to go to a destination because of an opportunity, like a work opportunity there. And like, it may not entirely just be about leaving one thing. It could be that there is maybe a new like company or very like grounded like leader that you choose to go and like maybe stay with them for a while and work and learn from them. I don't know why that could be what it is, but it's definitely like you'll be able to be in a pause situation where you get to feel the rewards and you get to take a break before your next adventure, because it's gone on for so long. You've been working at this for a really long time. And the timing is the anchor, which is number 35. The anchor is admittedly like a very slow energy. If you think about an anchor, it just holds you in place. That's the whole point. It's very heavy, like it drags you down. So this could keep taking a while. Like, I'm sorry to say that, but this could keep going. With Journey and like, I don't know. Let me look at the energy. We have Journey, which is like probably air. That's fast. Knight of Pentacles, very slow. Months, that's in month timing. Another, yeah. So you have like medium to slow energy. Honestly, this anchor is a really slow energy. I'm sorry. I fucking hate hearing that too, but that's the way the cards are. Don't yell at me. And then we have, yeah, a 9 of Spades. I'm feeling like 9. I was going to say 8 months, so I would say 8 to 9 months. So right now I'm filming this in first day of May. It's Beltane. It's Beltane. And, you know, but it could be like 8 months or 9 months. It could be 3 to 5 months, maybe for some people, 3 to 5 months. I would say more like 8 to 9 months. Now, I would say 3 to 5 months if this is the 8th or 9th month of this year. So if it's September or October or August, you know, I know October is the 10th month, but it's just going to take a while. It may be closer to like the end of autumn. I don't know. It's just sort of like it's probably going to happen in a more gray time of the year. It's not so much of an active time. You could really need the summer to like do this work and to travel, because there's a lot of fiery energy here. With the Emperor too, that's Aries season. We're still in Aries. No, we're in Taurus. So, yeah, we're in Taurus now, which is the Empress. So you might start to see some changes. Like, just, I think things will continue to be positive the longer you keep working on this. But if you're looking for the finish line, it's going to be more like 8 to 9 months, or August, September, October, somewhere around there. So I hope that was a good reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you heard what you wanted to hear. And you know what? If you didn't, I'm just a person. You don't have to believe anything I say. And you probably know your situation pretty well. You seem like a very grounded person, so you probably know realistically it's going to take a while. But hopefully it's less time than you think. Won't be too long. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy and have a wonderful day. Hello, pile 2. Let's look at what positive thing is happening in your life, when it's going to happen, what subject. Let's see what's going on. So the area of your life that's changing is enemy and officer. So this has to do with a two-faced person. What was it? How it's changing is the Ten of Wands in reverse. What were the other ones I did? It was how. There's an obstacle. Timing. Oh, whatever. Yeah, this is the obstacle. Sorry. And then outcome. I just like, I don't know. I'm not super smart all the time. The remaining obstacle you have is the Knight of Wands in the World. The outcome is the Queen of Cups. And the timing is going to be the Stork and the Whip. So I'll tell you what all that means. So yeah, the subject of this has to do with a two-faced person. 2 cards fell out, and if you look, these people seem very similar looking. You know, we have like 2 dudes, you know, mustaches, big hats, same stance. They look really similar, but they couldn't be more opposite. We have enemy, fiend, and then we have an officer. Very, very different people. If this isn't one person who's two-faced, it's 2 people you're deciding between for some reason. It could be like a love triangle, and you have to choose one or the other person. Also, you never have to choose one. I mean, you can always choose yourself. I don't know why I'm saying all that, but I don't know. I don't like when people feel like they have to get trapped in love situations, and like I don't know. That's why one reason I don't do a lot of love readings unless they're personal readings, but you will know, I'm sure. If this has to do with a two-faced person, this has to do with you moving on from the situation, or like losing this as a burden in some way. So an officer is someone upstanding, someone that you would go to for help, theoretically. If this is an officer in a magical, you know, fantasy world where they help you, then that is the person. You know, at least mentally, you would think of someone who with like a very rigid belief system, someone who's very strict, someone who tries to be upstanding and moral. Those are the ideas behind being like an officer, or like what you would think of, you know, someone you could theoretically go to for help. And an enemy would be someone that you're like, totally fuck off. Like, I don't want anything to do with you. This is someone who is hiding from you, sneaking. We definitely still see that later on. Like in this reading, it's repeated. So I feel like this is more honestly about one person that you kind of know is two-faced instead of picking, but it could have to do with picking between 2 people. So that area of your life will be changing. The way it's changing is the Ten of Wands in reverse. So something is going to happen that's just going to make you drop this. If you've been trying to hold on to this and hold on to this person, whether you want to or not, something's just going to knock it out of your hands. And it's for the best. can get a little bit more information. How? Six of Swords in reverse in the Sun. Yeah. So you and this person are just going back and forth. That's also shown in the whip at the end of this. You and this person are going back and forth, back and forth. It could be an ex, and like you keep expecting them to change. The Six of Swords is you're not moving on, and it's almost like that is going to be taken out of your control. Somehow, like, just the situation is going to get dropped out of your life, and it's going to happen like in the Sun way. So this could be that there's a very public like exposure of this person. It may not even be that. It could just be that something undeniable comes to your attention. There's something that you cannot dismiss. And if you were planning on like moving forward with this person, you may just be like where that is halted for some reason. I mean, it could even be like in a very specific scenario, it could be this person is running away from like charges of some kind, and they get caught in a warrant, or like they get caught because they've missed court or something, and they get pulled out of your life. Yeah, if there's something legal going on, maybe like this person gets exposed in court, like for being at fault, and it stops whatever process you're going through with them, if there's a legal like dispute, or if it has to do with custody, like divorce hearings. Like maybe if you're getting divorced, the other person is like hiding on information. If it's a custody battle, then like the person is like one way to your lawyers and to the court, and like a total different way, like with your children or with you specifically. Hopefully they're not shitty with your children, but something will come out to where this gets exposed, and you'll be really happy. Like, even if you're still attached and struggling with this person, which I think you are attached to them because you're still in a karmic contract with them, and the contract just has to dissolve, and that's what's going to happen. It's just the universe is just pulling this out, like just dropping this. If you think about like the Ten of Wands, when it's upside down, it's like all these lollipops falling, something you've really been holding on to, feeling like you can't let go of it, feeling like you have to carry this burden. It just gets taken away from you suddenly. The continuing obstacle with this situation is the Knight of Wands in the World. One issue could be there's still a lot of sexual attraction. Even if you maybe know this person isn't good for you, you're still like, you know, passion and sexual connection, or a very like, this is going to be more of a physical passion. It's going to be less like intelligent passion. But you know, like there's that primal need sometimes that like can really take over your thoughts. You know, there's a lot of sayings about that. So you may need to continue to watch out for that. You know, we have like this beautiful lady all naked, and then the Knight of Wands is like the fuck boy. Like he's not horrible, but he is like in and out. This is like a one night stand. So there could be the issue where you continue to let this person into your life in that way. The issue could be like the obstacle is whenever you feel like you're trying to move on, they rush in. It could also be like you're trying to like glow up and show off and like do well, and then you get this person's attention, and it just like throws you off because you're trying to move on from them, and it's like kind of icky and weird. And like, I don't know, I know that there's a lot of variations in those situations, but regardless, the bad part of this is going to end. And if the bad part is this person, then that is what's going to end. If the bad part is a behavior, then that is going to end or transform. The burden's going to be taken off of you in some way. So you just may need to like continue to look out for that. It could be like as you try to make major changes, every time you try to move on, this person like suddenly like messages you. Oh my God, I had like someone in my life like that. It was this person where like we weren't together, but we like saw each other really rarely. And anytime I went on like an actual date, like a real date with another person, that person messaged me out of the blue. Like it could have been months and I wouldn't have heard from them. And then I would be on a date, and it happened, I think 2 or 3 dates, like spread out over time. And that person just happened to message me like that day. It's like they somehow knew. This is sort of that person who like sort of knows how to like rein in on your prey. This is sort of the person where like, you know, maybe you go out to like a ladies brunch or some shit, and they happen to show up with their friends and like just kill the fucking vibe. Like that's the type of person. So that's still like an obstacle. But it is sort of a weak energy. You're not going to be kept from achieving. You're just going to like keep having to deal with sort of an annoying person. The outcome is the Queen of Cups. So this has to do with like, this could have to do with another person coming into your life. This could also have to do with you. I'm going to get another card though to clarify. So the outcome has to do with maybe communicating. This could have to do with, you may just speak up to this person and really clarify your feelings. You may just need to say something and hurt their feelings. Like, that's never the goal, but sometimes, frequently, your feelings are more important than other people's feelings. This may sound like insane, but like, I have a really, really hard time with boundaries. I really struggle with boundaries. And when you struggle with boundaries, you make your life worse and you make it hard for other people because you make them confused. You know, you could jump back and forth. It really adds a mess to relationships. And one thing I've learned to say to myself whenever I get approached and I immediately feel this like defensiveness come out of me or like not wanting to do it, I typically would override that and be like, no, I need to do this. I have to do this anyway. Like, whether I want to or not, I need to do this. Or like find a way to appease them and help them pick something else, like taking on a lot of energy. So what I say now, when I get approached in some way, like let's say someone came up to you and like just asked for money, which is fine. But maybe someone came up and asked for money and your immediate response was like, no, I don't have any money. I don't have any money on me. I'm in a hurry. I need money. Like it's not even mean. It's just like, no, I can't do that. But you feel like you have to say yes. It's, why is this person's feelings more important than my feelings? Like, if you just sit and think for a second, why is it the fact that they need money more important than the fact that I don't feel comfortable giving them money? And you may be like, well, duh. But like, I didn't know that for a really long time. I didn't know that like my feelings outweighed another person's. I just felt like I always had to submit to what other people wanted. And then sometimes there are times when someone's feelings are more important than yours. And so like maybe you feel defensive and you're like, are their feelings more important right now? And it could be maybe they're having like an emergency, or maybe you did something that hurt them. It's like, okay, yes, their feelings are more important right now and I need to discuss that with them. So what's happening is the opportunity to like express yourself, to express like these deeper emotions. Like the outcome is being able to say that and enact change. Something about connecting to the fact that you don't like the situation is going to bring fast change. The Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, if you, I don't know, if this person has been like abusive to you, it's encouraging you to talk about that to someone because you'll get a really good advice. You may get an opportunity. Someone might be like, oh, I had no idea. Why don't you come move in with me and get out of that situation? There could be some type of like benefit in some way. So it's kind of a confusing outcome to me because I feel like it could be done a bunch of ways, but basically it's like there's going to be this emotional understanding. There's this horrible place you've been in dealing with this person that'll really quickly change and you'll be able to bring about like a better financial outcome. So maybe like telling your lawyer the truth about something this person's done. Maybe like you have been hiding certain things because you're like, oh, if I know this person wasn't like totally being themselves and like I can't tell anyone because that'll ruin their reputation, but like I don't want them around my fucking kids acting that way. Like it's saying that, expressing that, and like somehow really connecting to the dirty feelings about this that you don't like is going to bring about change quickly. I know like I'm really avoidant of pain, but something about recognizing that and like letting your feelings come out is going to bring out a much better option. It may just suddenly make things clear to you and make it so you're like, no, I really am not going to give this person my energy anymore. Like they are not respecting me, or it could really help you choose one situation or another. The timing of this, I think, is actually relatively soon. There's a lot of summer energy, so for us in this point in time, that is not very far away. That's like it's next month. So I would say sometime over the summer, if you're not in like spring right now when you're watching this, then maybe the next 2 or 3 months. The stork is transformation, and it's about a situation changing and transforming, but the whip is about back and forth. So I think that this is saying that it's still going to take time. There's still back and forth. We had the 8 of Wands in here too. There's still going to be probably some fighting, some arguing with this person, but I think maybe that just has to happen. Maybe you've really been avoiding it, and it's not really a time to avoid it anymore. Because if you think about the whip or the broom, that is, it's both. It's a whip and a broom. You can call it either one, but a whip is like continuous. The broom is sweeping. It could also be saying until you sweep this under the rug, I know I was just saying you need to confront, but until you like sweep past this, until you're able to just decide like, no, I'm getting rid of this, I'm pushing it out of my life. If you think about the stork coming and leaving, like bringing transformation, bringing a baby with it. I don't know. And also like the stork to me is always July. It's just a July card to me. I don't know why. 7, I don't know, 7 maybe because there's a 7 in it. 11, 17. Yeah, I don't know. I just really feel like this is a summertime thing. Over the summer, there'll probably be some back and forth. Over the next few months, there will be some back and forth. And then eventually, the situation will just get cleared out. Let me make sure there's nothing else. 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, whenever things do change, you'll have like a nice, sturdy outcome, especially with the Ace of Pentacles. This could be custody being settled. This could be you getting the money that you deserve. But I think be realistic and know there's probably still going to be a battle with this person or fighting. But this is showing that they'll be exposed. They're going to be exposed to you. They will be exposed in the public. And you may need to be kind of a whistleblower. Like, I'm not I'm not here to say be a narc, but if someone isn't being right to you, or if someone is harming you or another person, it's okay that you don't feel good about that. It's okay that you don't want that in your life, and maybe it's time to put an end to that. So I hope that helped. I hope that made sense. I hope it has something to do with your life. I hope it wasn't just something that I just like said and you think I'm a crazy person, but even if you do think I'm a crazy person, that's probably okay. It's not really that big of a deal. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you again real soon. Bye. Hi, pile 3. I hope you're good. If you picked the blue sword, this is what is changing in your life, how it's changing, what the outcome is, what are some obstacles, and the timing. So the subject is the ecclesiastic, which is kind of like a cleric. God, I always forget the second thing. How? 5 of Cups. Sorry. I'm not good at remembering stuff anymore. The obstacles relating to this is the 2 of Pentacles. Wow. Because, sorry, after that we have the Hierophant as your outcome, which is kind of crazy. And then timing is the stars. So this is really interesting because you have a lot of cards that align, and these are all from different card decks. So we have the ecclesiastic, which is, this is someone most likely in the ministry, related to religion. We also have the, did I say high priestess? Is the Hierophant. I don't know if I said high priestess. Basically the same kind of person. And then we also have 2 5s. We have the 5 of Cups and the Hierophant, which is number 5. So that's really interesting to me. The situation in your life that's changing, this is actually this is like a pretty big thing that's changing for you. This is probably something that has to do with like your life in a greater way. So you're really going to be changing or you're going to have a positive change relating to your spiritual belief system, something related to what you believe in, the practices you have, some structure, if like, I don't know, something. It's really more spiritual. I was trying to make it into like a structure that you've been a part of for a long time, but this is still kind of like the same energy. Like, I feel like you're going to be staying in spirituality but changing your spirituality. So the ecclesiastic and the hierophant are both energies that are like very controlling. They, you know, if you think about religion, it tends to stay one way. It doesn't really change. It's there's an importance to keeping tradition and to maintaining things the same way. It's almost like it proves their validity by having something be the same forever, have it to be unchanging. So what's going on though is that you don't feel very good about the way your situation is going. You don't really feel like inspired anymore. There could be something about the spirituality that you have started to feel really depressed about. If you are doing something maybe where you're really trying to separate from your ego, if you feel like your ego is bad and you're trying to destroy it, if you're part of some belief system that is really like isolating, controlling, like maybe if you don't feel like it's that way, but if there's some really deeply held belief that maybe somehow it's actually holding you back, like there's a lot of focus in the spiritual community of like destroying your ego and ego death, and it's like the ego is something you have to keep in check, but the ego is important. We need our ego to like make some pretty basic choices and to learn about ourselves. I'm not Freud, but what this is saying is that this is starting to make you feel really depressed. You're not really seeing an outcome that's positive anymore. You could have experienced a tragedy and you're going to religion expecting something, expecting like to be healed or to be changed in some way. So the thing that's changing is that you're somehow going to feel a lot better about this. I need to feel this out more. How is this ecclesiastic changing? A lot of cards. I don't want all those. Ace of Pentacles. That Seven of Pentacles really wants to come up. So I don't know. It's almost like you're leaving one spirituality for another. The Five of Cups with the Ten of Swords is that this situation is just done. Maybe I don't know. I'm almost seeing the imagery of like you were in like a convent and you've realized this is not for you. Like that it is just so isolating that it really isn't. What I'm reminded of is like this little documentary I watched on YouTube, and it was about people who want to join covenants, I guess, wherever nuns go. I can't remember. And it was about people in their early 20s, women who wanted to become nuns. And this one girl was clearly like very devoted, super spiritual. She clearly like wanted this to be who she was. She really found peace in prayer in the community, and she really wasn't overly obsessed with vanity. And I don't know, it just seemed like the right fit for her. It seemed like something she really felt a deep pull to express. The covenant, though, that she was, or I'm sorry, I keep saying covenant. I don't know if it's called, I don't think it's called a covenant, but it's not a monastery. Is it a monastery? That's where monks go. Wherever she wanted to go to be with all the other nuns was very strict. She was looking at a place where she would have like pretty much no contact with the outside world. She would only be able to speak to her family maybe on Christmas. She could make a call. She may not be able to see them for many years unless someone was dying. It was really strict. It was very over the top. For her, especially because she was extremely close to her family, extremely close to her friends, like that was all she cared about. And she was like, I don't want to give up on this dream, but like I really don't know if I can handle, like I think she went for a month or something, and even in that time it was like really exhausting. I don't know if it's like she was even really going to be allowed to write to them. So I remember watching that and being like, why don't you just go over to one of the other ones where like you can talk to people and like see your family and like be involved with the community. So it's something where it's like you're picking a less harsh approach to your spirituality. Maybe if you've been like, I have to meditate at this time every morning for this amount of time, you're going to be like loosening the reins on that in some way. With the Seven of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, I don't know how to say this because it doesn't sound positive, but something that you thought you had to do or something that has been going on for a long time that you've put energy into and it just isn't making you happy, is just going to end somehow. You'll be able to step away, I think, when you realize that it has been bringing you down. That's sort of similar to another reading where it's like you're realizing to get out of a certain situation. The obstacle is the Two of Pentacles. So you could be reliant on this for money. You could be reliant on, if you're in like a Christian, like hospitality home, or like where you're relying on the goodwill and charity of a religious group or something, that could be the struggle. Like maybe you really don't feel like you can express the fact that maybe you're Jewish or you're part of another spiritual belief, but you have to take like help from a different spiritual community and you feel conflicted about it, or you can't express yourself, like because maybe that community, whatever community you're getting help from, if that's your scenario, feels to be pretty restrictive or feels to be something that doesn't completely resonate with you. And you may have just been presented that this is what's right and I have to do this, and the things I believe aren't good enough. So you may still have that obstacle where you're jumping back and forth between your belief system and this other one that maybe you were raised on, or that has been, for some reason, it is just like, it really is like God. Like you don't feel like you can defy this energy. But then sometimes you're like, no, like I really need to follow my own path and like create my own beliefs, or like follow this other belief system that I'm so intrigued by, or even just to go and explore those things. It feels like you may still go back and forth and being like, I don't know, like I'm not sure what I want to do. But the outcome is the Hierophant. So I think I see more now of what is actually happening. So I really see you pulling away from a overwhelming thought. Even if this isn't about religion, it could be like your thinking structure, the way you believe in things, the way you choose to see the world. You're going to step away from like the really rigid belief system and you're going to have your own. So this is you really finding like a way to save yourself, a way to get out of this situation, a way to pull yourself out of this mentally, because the way that this belief system makes you feel is very trapped. Maybe if you believe like you just aren't going to find a soulmate, it is just not in the cards for you and has become so true to you. Like maybe you saw a psychic and she's like, you're not going to find love in this lifetime. And you just had like this thing where you're like, you know what, a psychic told me this, and like they can see the future, so like what the hell am I going to do? This will never happen for me. This is about you taking your life back into your own hands and saying like, I am not giving my power away to structures that truly don't agree with me. And like for myself, like I left Christianity, I left Pentecostal Christianity, and like I'm a satanic witch now, and I like have a practice that's so the opposite of what I was raised in, and I had to learn to stop feeding my energy, but that still comes up. I was like so strictly raised in this belief system that it still is part of like my thought process. Sins like come up a lot if I'm sinning, or like it is always on my mind when I'm doing something that I know it's a sin. I can't escape from that. Even if I continue to do it because I can and I don't think it's bad, I will still be like, well, I know this is a sin. I know that I'm sinning. It's really, really hard to step away from. But even for myself, I don't hate Christians. I don't hate Christianity. I don't have an issue with it. I have an issue with the experiences I had. I have issues with the abuse I personally dealt with. But as a whole, like I personally don't care. Like it's not my belief system, but I would want people to choose what makes them happy. I feel like you're going to be able to find peace. Like maybe you don't have to like totally like kill and destroy this thing. It's just like you're going to reinterpret it in a way that's a lot healthier for you. So in terms of timing, we have the stars. Let me get another card. Where is it? Oh. The stars and what? The bear. So I do feel like this is a longer thing. I think that realistically, since it's a change of mindset, this isn't something that is meant to happen instantly. You're not just going to suddenly be like able to let go of these very like rigid beliefs that have been implanted in you like through repeated like behaviors and things. This is something where I think you're going to grow into it over time, but it's just going to start with like little things. So like with these stars here, this is like you being able to like collect these experiences. Like for myself, it was like, oh, I'm going to like start meditating. And then it was like, oh, I'm going to start buying these little crystals, or I want this crystal. And I had like one crystal. And then I was like, I'm going to buy a tarot deck. And I bought a tarot deck. You're going to like, you know, and now that it's been so many years, I have this Hierophant. Like I have this in my own life. This is me and my belief system. But it took these years of like collecting these little moments in these synchronicities and these spiritual experiences that made it so I was like, yeah, like this is my thing. This is what makes me happy. And with the bear too, that is like a really powerful, really strong energy. And so I feel like at the very least, just know that this is going to happen over time. It's just going to happen naturally. More and more over time is something that will become really strong for you in your life. And I think also the more little things you do just to like incorporate this as part of your day, like doing little things regarding your spirituality that will make you feel better, or doing little things to build up your self-esteem or your inner locus of control instead of the outer locus of control. Putting energy into that is going to like really quickly build up your strength. And so I see like you probably will immediately walk away from this. As soon as you're ready, you can just leave it. This information here, like even though there is still maybe a scenario where someone needs financial help, at the very least, the cards are saying you can mentally shut off from this situation. You can just mentally let this die. Stop thinking about it. Stop giving it that energy. You have permission to whenever you're ready. And the more you're able to do that, and the more you're able to say no to like those rigid beliefs, the more you're going to have this like incredible belief system that grows and like that you become in charge of. And I do want to say maybe for someone, because there's a lot of 15 in here. There's 10, 5, 5, 15 right here, 16 here, which is close. But there's a lot of 15 energy. So I feel like maybe for some people, you could actually, like if you are interested in another specific spirituality or like being a leader of some type, it may be like in 15 years, you're like in this really like incredible, unbelievable, like maybe you're suddenly in a temple in another country in 15 years and like that is where your experiences have taken you, or like you've moved to like this area in the world where you feel really empowered and everyone resonates with you and like this is your place. This is sort of like where your moon would be. There's a whole way to look that up in astrology, like figuring out where you'll find like your spiritual power on Earth. It's called astrocartography, and you can see like where in the world like these places would have an effect on you, and see how they could possibly affect your life. They're not necessary for you to like have certain experiences, but you can certainly like jumpstart areas of your life by visiting areas. And like I've seen where like in my own astrocartography where like challenging places are, like I don't know that Pluto is challenging, but it's like it's a different kind of energy. It's not necessarily like the funnest energy. Where that was for me was a place I had been that was really challenging for me emotionally and mentally, and I went through a massive change and like part of me died after that, and it was in that area for me. So I don't know why I started talking about that, but for some of you, if that's an aspiration you have, is to like really make some form of spirituality your life, that's something that could happen in maybe like a decade or 2 decades. So this doesn't mean it won't happen sooner or in small ways or in even big ways, but there could be some really big crescendo in like 15 years. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know, check on this video back in 15 years whenever like YouTube is implanted in your wrist or whatever. But I hope that helped. I hope it made sense. I hope it made sense for your life. I hope that you like this reading. I hope you like me. I hope you think I'm cool. I hope that you want to be friends with me. And yeah, have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Hi, pile 4. If you chose the yellow dagger, this pile is for you. So I went ahead and I flipped over your cards, and I already needed to get some extra information because this is really interesting. So hopefully, like, it makes sense to you. It's really specific, so if it makes no sense, then don't worry about it. It just isn't the right message for you. Yeah, it's interesting. So the area of your life that's changing is lover and merriment. So something related to this could be related to like low key hookups. Like it could have to do with like a hidden relationship, because there's a card later on that sort of indicates that. So something about your life has to change. Like this is meant to be like, it's not, oh god, I'm making it sound horrible. Like this is meant to be positive. I don't mean that. So what it looks like, okay, just to be frank, there is a situation that you are avoiding and is going to come to the point where you can't avoid it anymore. And that's why it's positive, because it's something like you need to change. So there could be like a person like outside of like your friend group or something that like you're avoiding. This could have to do with like an ex. This could have to do with your own feelings about being kind of like really flirtatious with people. It could have to do with like the fact that maybe you don't feel like you're getting these things. Maybe you don't feel like you have a lover and you don't have any merriment in your life. Like maybe it's something sort of related to that, because this has to do with like leaving a scenario, getting clear about things. Because how things are going to change is that you won't be able to like keep a blind eye to this anymore, the Two of Swords. You won't be able to deny what the situation is. There could be that maybe there's someone who makes you happy, and or like a relationship that makes you happy, but like you won't get involved with it, or like maybe you haven't been able to see someone for a long time. But what's changing is that you won't be able to deny that anymore. There's a person or something you're ignoring that has to do with what makes you happy. Like maybe it's not a person, maybe it's something like a hobby that really makes you happy, or finding time to step away from work so that you can have merriment and you can go out and like, I don't know, fuck people or something. There's something where I think you haven't been accepting what would make you happy, and it's getting to the point where you're going to have to. You can't keep denying something that would make you feel better. It's like you've been punishing yourself, or like did you hear me? I was like punishing. It's something where like you've sort of been in a victim mentality, like you felt really defeated. There could be like some pain that's been going on for a long time and you're just ignoring it. It's a really cold feeling where there are these happy things, but you're pretending like they're not happening. But yeah, we have Two of Swords, so this is you just ignoring it, pretending like that's not happening. And then we have the Hierophant, the Ace of Wands. So somehow the thing that you're like pretending you don't want, or the thing you're trying to suppress or deny, the positive thing, is going to become very undeniable. If it's something that like you really want to do, I don't know, let's say like you really want to be baking, like you have a love of baking and it makes you really, really happy, but you just won't do it for some reason. this is about, like, maybe you'll come across like the Great British Bake Off and you'll just become really entranced with it. It'll be in a way where like you can't deny it anymore, and you'll feel very inspired to take action. Somehow seeing this in a public way, like seeing this in a major way, seeing that it can heal you, like help you, that it can help you feel better, is going to inspire you to take action. And you'll do it pretty quickly. You'll just like be like, you know what, I can't pretend I don't like this anymore. Something about it being like in your face. The Two Swords is like, no. Mm-mm. Don't show me. I'm not looking at it. I don't want to know. I don't care. I can't do anything anyway. Stop. And it's like, that's not the truth. You can do something about this. And yeah, it's just going to be in a way where you can't pretend anymore that it doesn't make you happy. This is something that could be really fulfilling in your life and bring you a lot of like benefit and spirituality. Like maybe it's like a talent that you need to explore, so that like maybe this really has to do something with your life path. Maybe it's like a partnership, not even romantic necessarily, but just like a friendship or something that could really be instrumental to your life. There's some reason that like the thing you're ignoring or pretending you don't care about is hurting you. It's not good for you. The obstacles related to this are the Five of Swords, the Seven of Wands, and the Ten of Swords. So one of the obstacles is you feel petty or like bitter about it. Bitter. You feel, you may feel like you're trying to like keep as much as you can close to yourself. Maybe like, if we're gonna stick with the baking analogy, maybe like you were on like a stride with something, and then something happened and like you got embarrassed, or you feel like you failed in a really public way. That pulling away because of that feeling is negative for you. Pulling away because of that, like that's an obstacle. The fact that you're pulling away and like keeping things close to you, and because you're like, oh, when I invested in this scenario, it fucked me over. And even though like it looks like this thing still makes you happy, it's like you're pretending like it won't because you don't want to get hurt again. I mean, I can relate to that with tarot. Like, oh my god, anytime I've messed up a reading, or I've never done that. I've never messed up a reading. But like, I don't know, one time I even like, I don't know, like I've done dumb stuff, like sent something at the wrong time, or I don't know, made mistakes as I've built my business, and I've pretended at times like I didn't give a shit about this, and like it doesn't matter to me because I wouldn't be good at it anyway, and like I'm not gonna get anywhere, so it doesn't matter because like every time I try it messes up, even though like undeniably this is like what I care the most about in my life and like what I feel so driven toward. So it was sort of like I had like this bitterness toward tarot in a way. Like it's like, you're not gonna make me look stupid again. And it's like, maybe that's not the reality of things. Like it's saying that somehow maybe like your feelings about it are a bit overblown. Especially with like the Ten of Swords and the Seven of Wands. This is like deader than dead. This is like defeat. This is like, I'm sick of this, and like it has hurt, and something hurt me at some point, and I'm gonna defend myself. Seven of Wands, I'm defending myself. I don't care who comes near me. It could be too like maybe like you had a relationship that you thought was like it, like this was your person, and they weren't the person, and it hurt so much. You're like, I'm not gonna fucking let anyone treat me that way. Like I'll fuck people or whatever, but like I'm not gonna get fooled that way because that's not real. I'm not gonna let someone treat me that way. And yeah, don't let someone treat you like crap, but like if you're defensive to that point, you're not going to ever meet someone. Ever. You will never have a relationship if you feel that every relationship will be the same way as your ex. And you know, maybe like it looks like the thing you want to invest in would heal you. So if it's like that hobby or like a person, like maybe like, yeah, you had like this horrible experience with a person and you want to try things with new people, and you're like, well, I can't let those new people in because like this happened with that person, and I'm never gonna let that happen again, and that person is a person, so there's a chance it will happen to me. Like I certainly can relate to that. And like so many, like, I think everyone can. We've all had relationships like that, or interests like that. Like, if there was a school program, you were like, I'm gonna do this, like, this is what I want to do, and then like you start to fuck up, or like COVID gets in the way or something, and you're like, I'm not gonna make a fool of myself like that again. There's an over defensiveness where you're still putting, because you're like, this happened to me once and it's never gonna happen again. It's kind of like it keeps happening to you because you won't let go of it. You're still so tied to this experience that you are making yourself repeat it. Now, not necessarily that like you're inviting bad people into your life. I really mean more like you are replaying it too much. If you need to set boundaries and defend yourself, try to set to like, because there probably was a really good lesson in this. Like, maybe there are certain ways you should not let someone treat you again, or there were ways I needed to learn to run my business and not repeat certain things again. What you can do is like reframe it, change it from, you know what, instead of I'm going to defend myself because of that person or because of that failure, I'm going to defend myself because I'm valuable and because I deserve better. And so that will help you to see like, oh, maybe this person approaching me like is a better situation, or maybe re-entering that hobby could be good, or trying a new hobby, something that I'm really passionate about. There's a way that you're too defensive about it because you probably feel like hurt or embarrassed, which is fine. And then the outcome, Seven of Swords, Queen of Pentacles in reverse, and Two of Pentacles. So, in honesty, this isn't a good outcome. I feel like this is saying that if you aren't able to change, it's just going to keep repeating. If you aren't able, like, the advice here is like, just step away. Step away from the intensity of those feelings. Stop thinking that you can't do anything because of one thing that happened. Even though it was probably a horrible thing, you can't stop living. Like, this is something that you need to incorporate. With the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, this could be you just being really stuck on an idea. This is more of someone who like won't go out and see people, won't let people near them, because upright, the Queen of Pentacles is like so kind and loving and maternal, and she lets everyone in her home, and she is so welcoming and like grows things in her home. If you continue to like suppress this, it could really cut off like the way you are like growing things or trying to create things, really stifling your creativity if it has to do with like a talent or or like a project. You can, if you don't step away from this, you can really just keep it from happening, but keep it in you so it feels like a rock in your stomach. Like, it just won't go away. If you have been feeling that, if you've been feeling like an anxiety pit in your stomach, it's probably related to this thing that like this elephant in the room that you have. And that behavior, like that experience will keep happening if you do the Seven of Swords here, which is like just running away, hiding, self-sabotaging. This is really self-sabotaging. This is sneaking away. This is hiding from what you want. And the Two of Pentacles is not deciding, flipping back and forth. So the message here is that this will be positive if you decide. This will be positive if you just decide to like try again in some way. You don't have to try again with the same person who hurt you. You maybe don't even have to try again with like the old hobby, but you have to try something. You have to try to find like a new hobby that will inspire you, or revisit thing that hurt you and see if like you can overcome that. You need to, like, you don't have to find a partner if you've gotten your heartbreak immediately, but you need to find relationships that can be fulfilling and valuable to you, or you need to find ways to build up your sense of self so that you don't get caught into these relationships. Because honestly, like, one reason this is showing up is maybe you do just have like a really strong tendency to not let go and to really hold on to your failures as truths instead of like just part of the journey. You could be like letting these obstacles just completely stop you or totally throw you off your road and your path, instead of just seeing them as like an opportunity to take a break or to learn or something like that. My nose started sorry. That's supposed to be like a psychic confirmation, like when your nose starts to run, which I don't like, but that happens to me sometimes. So in terms of timing, we have the fox and the mountain. So this is a little bit more, it's still kind of along the lines of like, if you don't change things. The fox is about our self-interest. It can be a little bit like the Seven of Swords. It can be like a trickster or a thief. But in terms of yourself, this is saying like, you need to follow your heart. You need to listen to your pull. You need to listen to your own separate path. And it looks like there is like an obstacle related to that you need to overcome. It may feel like it takes a really long time, but I really feel like if you don't invest in yourself, it's just like that is an obstacle you have to overcome. You will have to overcome this. You will have to learn to make healthy relationships, or you will have to learn to find something that fulfills you. You have to find something that makes you happy and something you can trust. And until you do, it's just going to continue to be an obstacle. So I really do feel like the advice here is like you can step away from this. You can step away from this mountain. You can stop making things so hard on yourself if you just follow your own like interests. What would be better for you? What would actually make you happy? And confronting the mountain, confronting the block, and being like, why do I let this keep me from being happy? Why do I see this failure as part of my identity? Really learning to like separate yourself from that obstacle. See it as like it was an experience that happened for you, and now you have like other experiences you'll have. It's going to be important for you to like get over this mindset. So I know that wasn't like along the lines of the other readings. This was more about there is something positive for you, but I think you're blocking that, especially with the mountain. The mountain, that's a block. That's a block. Queen of Pentacles was in reverse, block. Ten of Swords, blocking you. Five of Swords, upright, pulling away, blocking you. Seven of Swords, pulling away, blocking yourself. Seven of Wands, blocking other people. Like, I'm not trying to be a bitch. I'm like, look at this. Like, I'm not trying to be a bitch about it. I'm just saying, like, two swords is blocking you too. Stop being so stubborn. I'm sorry. Just don't, like, it's time to let go. I can only act this way because I don't know the people who will be listening to this. If this was a client, I would be talking much more gently. But since this is like an audience of anonymous people, it's easier for me to just be like, no, don't do that. I have Mars and Aries, so I'm very like, and I'm a Capricorn. Like, no, like, this is what's happening. So the cards are saying that like, there is merriment and love and happiness and the ability and possibility right around you to like if you have that bakery stuff in your kitchen and you just keep avoiding it, it's still right there. Like if there are like friends who want to reach out to you that you wish you could get close to again but have been blocking yourself, they're there. They're still right there. It's saying like your happiness is right here, but like you have put a ton of walls up to like completely keep it from getting to you. And that is why you are feeling pain and still feeling this struggle and feeling this block. Stop blocking yourself. Stop actively and energetically saying no, and make yourself try something. So, sorry that was intense, but the tarot is really blunt, and that's just the way it is. It tells me this kind of stuff all the time. Like, good God, girl, get a grip. But I hope it helped. I hope it made sense. I hope that it helped you feel better in some way. At the very least, you should feel better knowing that this can end at any time. This pain can end. Just stop. pushing everyone away. Stop pushing away opportunity. Opportunity will keep coming, but you can keep pushing it away. It won't get better until you allow it to get better. So I hope it helped, and I hope I see you again. Well, I'll never ever see you probably, but I hope you watch one of my videos again.